Welcome back to the Briefcase in the Barn. In today's episode, we start in the barn talking breeding cows and farm economics. From there, we head straight into geopolitics, including Canadian Liberal MP Chrystia Freeland being appointed as an economic advisor to Ukraine and the wars that never seem to end. We get into a discussion about political parties at the municipal level, answer a listener's question on short-term mission trips, talk money, possessions, and eternity, and yes, we finish with the World Juniors Hockey Tournament. Barn talk, business brains, and everything in between. Let's roll. Welcome back, guys, to the episode of the Briefcase of the Barn series of the Furious and Curious show, where we talk about business, life, Christianity, more, with Gary Baars and myself, Kyle from Ruitenburg, which I've got a few comments. Apparently I say that wrong. Or apparently I say me and you. Or, I don't know. I say it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gary and I would be the correct way.
Doesn't matter.
No, nobody.
We want to talk about
If
Gary.
that's bothering you, you're going to hate our podcast. I can assure you of that. Oh, it's been a crazy day so far, man.
Why?
I just had herd health in the morning at the farm.
Okay. Still all right in there like a dirty shirt.
Yeah, vet comes in and sticks her hand up the cow's hindquarters and does a good check of a whole bunch of cows, mostly to see if they're pregnant.
You breed them yourself, or you get someone in for the
No, you know me, not much of a breeder. But got the
pun intended.
Yeah, pun intended. Got the guys the foreign workers who work on my farm, but also there's the company that comes. JC Herd Care.
Have you switched?
Good outfit. Good people.
Okay. Have you switched who you use for your semen supply for the cows over the years? Because there's a whole bunch of those guys, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Big money in that, or what? Why is that? Why there's so many?
Yeah, it's good margin. Like, I think the cost is obviously very low on a dose of semen.
Yeah.
And like on Holstein semen, and I'm going to say the wrong thing here because I don't even buy Holstein semen, but I think it's expensive. Like, it's probably $30 to $60 a straw, let's say. And I'll buy beef semen because I only breed to Angus bulls on our farm because we don't keep any of our young stock on our dairy farm, which is a whole nother discussion about why I do that.
Okay, so you can only get bulls.
I only get
you never get
black beef calves coming out of my dairy cows.
Okay,
which is
so it's already an embryo,
business.
Or it's actually
no, it's just a beef bull. It's a cross on dairy, so it's 50% Angus and 50%.
Okay,
Holstein
but they're
Jersey.
always black.
Yeah, they are.
How's that possible if the mom is?
I should know that, but I don't.
Huh.
Somebody way smarter than me is.
It's like the blue eye thing.
Yeah, well, so basically what happens is you have this like black calf come out, solid black calf, and instead of being worth $700-800, they're worth $1,700 because they're black. And so, most dairy farms,
because it's a different type of beef.
Or because any beef cows feed way better than a Holstein.
Oh, okay.
So like back in the 90s and 2000s, people from here, they're like nobody was breeding beef semen back then, or very few people. I think definitely not anybody I was working for. So they would have all these Holstein heifer calves come out, which they would keep, and then the bull calves they would sell to Alberta like we do now. But they were never worth that much, and they don't. They just don't utilize feed near as well as a beef calf. So beefs grow way better. So the beef, that's why they pay way more for them. And that's where the demand is. But basically dairy farms, even in BC now, in Canada, probably in general, a huge chunk of their net income right now is coming from beef revenue, which is somewhat concerning.
So a lot of our other farmers are doing this as well. They're not.
Oh, yeah. Well, most guys would do a percentage.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of guys would, and actually in the U.S., and I think here too, a lot of dairies would breed sex semen Holstein.
Okay.
So sexed, right? Female. So if it comes out, it's either a female Holstein or it's a bull calf, or it's a black calf.
So that's before the egg and the semen are together. You can already pick the sex.
If it's yeah, you can.
Oh wow!
It's not 100%, but it's pretty close. Yeah,
that's pretty wild.
It is pretty wild.
Because there's with humans, there's this big like ethical debate about people that take embryos that are already together, that they get rid of like the females and males, whatever. But if you do it beforehand and with just the semen, then it's not a human yet. So then it would be okay.
Well, this is the beauty of getting in the weeds, right? I mean, these are issues where some people would say you'd never even play
fertilize.
In that
that's
space.
The word I was looking for.
You'd never even play in that space because that would be playing God, right? And other people would be like, "Hey, that's just science. We've been blessed to be able to make these,
Yeah.
Especially people that do, lots of people do embryo adoptions. People that do in vitro think it's totally fine, and other people would think it's literally wrong. It's really wrong, actually. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But on the dairy side, for me, it's just we don't even have the capacity to raise our young stock. And I don't think I'll ever raise an animal as good as the guys that I'm buying them from. So why would I try? And
selling them, do you mean?
That I'm buying them from, sorry. Because I'm buying in, I need milk cows too, right? So I'm buying, obviously I resell, that's a big part of my business.
That way.
But I just look, when I go to a farm that milks 700 cows in an extremely competitive environment like Washington State, and I go to that 700 cow farm and I get to pick out any 20 cows I want. How do you think those 20 cows compare to a 120 cow farm in Canada that raises every single animal they breed?
So do most farmers go down to the States and do that, or
no,
they do themselves?
No, most people here raise their young. So I would say
because
80% of farms, because they think it's cheaper.
Oh,
they think it's cheaper. That is the debate. And the thing is, when you do math and you go in with a bias, you would go in with the idea of, hey, I already own this land, so I have the cheap feed, or I already have this old barn because I bought the neighbor's farm, so now, quote unquote, I'm doing the quotations, the building doesn't cost me anything. Yeah. And, or even like, I always use the argument, and it's very interesting with farmers, because farmers tend to want to buy something and pay for it later. That's like in the mechanic shop, you don't pick up your car without paying, but a farmer will, buy a load of hay and pay for it 60 days later. Some people pay 2 years later, depending on the farm. Yeah. They always pay way later. But the minute you flip it to their young stock, they're totally fine prepaying 2 years in advance and not even knowing if they're going to get a decent animal at the end, because that's just what farmers do.
What do you mean? How do they pay in advance?
Well, because they're raising it from the minute it's a calf. So back to the argument, if I would sell a cow,
but they're in control.
But they're in control. They're in control. Yeah.
Control,
tell
baby.
Tell them when they have their. So what happens is a cow calves for the first time, like a heifer calves. It's their first lactation, and then she only has 3 teats or 2 teats that milk on, right? Because they'll get sucked on from another calf when they're in a young animal, or they just won't turn out at all. Like they won't milk anything, and they'll end up going for beef. So there's a lot of carnage that happens. Like livestock, dead stock is a saying for a reason.
Even if you have like really good,
you have the best genetics. Anybody would, if they were in this discussion, a farmer would admit that there's a percentage. I would say 10% for sure do not make it from being born on a farm to being a decent milking cow. Okay. Maybe it's probably higher and lower depending on the farm. Interesting. Anyways.
That's fun stuff to learn about. You leaving on Friday for a week?
Yeah, I'm going on for 5 days.
So we'll see if we last today. Up a bit. We'll see if we last today back-to-back recordings or not.
Yeah, or we'll record another time, or you can record with someone else. We'll see.
I was thinking about who would record with, but no one came to mind.
Okay.
But you're going to Mexico with you and Marie?
Yeah, 2 different places this time, to Cabo. Los Cabo.
Oh, okay. The blue side.
As opposed to the what side?
Pacific side.
No, it's the Pacific side.
Oh, it is? Cabo?
Yeah.
Cabo San Luca.
Am I saying the wrong place? It's Los Cabos. It's right, like it's on the peninsula, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not that far from here. I think it's like 3.5, 4 hour flight. It's closer than Puerto Vallarta. We normally go to Puerto Vallarta when we've gone, but
looking forward to it?
We wanted to try somewhere different, and so we're trying somewhere different. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, as much as I look forward to any holiday.
Which is, I mean, you still got to work out there.
Pace the beach talking on the phone, right? Getting the most work done, because there's nothing else to do other than you just think, right? It's like think of all the things that you should have done.
You take your lockbox with in the suitcase?
I will, yeah. I said I told someone else I met friend Mike yesterday, and I promised him I would take my lockbox and use it periodically, so I will.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of room for grace there in the word periodically, but...
Gray Baars for a reason, right?
I heard he's quitting. I'm assuming you're talking about Mike.
Yes, yeah, he is. Yeah,
Arbor Mike.
Yeah.
14 years.
Guy. Yeah, he had a amazing run there. And started the We Need a Law campaign, I think, and just.
I've seen on his post he doesn't know what's up next yet.
No, but he'll land somewhere and he'll do well. That's for sure. He's got a great skill set.
Smart guy.
Yeah, very smart guy. Very good communicator. Yeah. And more than almost anybody I know, able to speak truth and love. Be very pointed and not, which I just feel like as Christians, we really lack that. We tend to veer into one of the ditches, right? Some of us are just really good at, I'm nailing it. I'm telling the truth. And then the next,
disposition of your heart.
Yeah.
Lots of crazy things happened in the news this week.
Oh, it's been a whacked week.
One of the craziest things is that Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky, their prime minister, who's been all over the news since the war started against Russia, appointed Liberal MP Chrystia Freeland as an economic advisor. Zelensky announced Freeland's appointment on X, describing the former deputy prime minister and current MP as a highly skilled in these matters and has extensive experience in attracting investment and implementing economic transformations. I read that and I'm like, this screams corruption to me, because if you look at when she was in charge of Canada, Like,
Worst finance minister ever
and
in Canada.
yeah, and everything else has gone
Or at least
south.
in my lifetime.
And they keep giving money to Ukraine. I think she's actually, her grandparents were Ukrainian.
I really struggle with this conversation, eh?
Why?
Because I would agree that it's a bit of a black hole, and I'd be curious to know. But I find it so strange how quickly it turns into like it's weird how people are anti-Ukraine because of this.
Oh, I'm not anti-Ukraine. Well, I mean, I just don't trust Zelensky appointing this lady. Like, if you have any brain, any sort of brain,
it doesn't look great. No, I would agree.
That's not going to
it doesn't bode well.
No,
it doesn't bring confidence to our democracy in Canada. No, it does not.
No, exactly.
No, and she should have quit ahead of time. Like, she knew that obviously for weeks or maybe even a month or two she was taking the posting. Why would she? Now she's saying I'll step down in a couple of weeks. It looks bad.
But if he would have appointed like some Canadian businessman that has tons of experience growing big businesses, that would make sense.
No,
but
she's bringing a grease gun along for sure.
Exactly. And he knows that. So it makes me not trust that guy either at all.
He's a character.
I think people need it on the side of like our anti-Ukraine. Like, we got to separate the government and the people.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I'm
like, same with Russia. I'm not anti-Russian people. Like it's Vladimir and his cronies. They're the screwballs. Like, Russians are just Russians. They don't want their kids to be dying on the war.
I guess similar to every war though, and this is a good example of that because this is like full imperialism, or at least that's how it looks to me, right? With like Russia going into Ukraine and bombing and just literally just. Shoot.
Kind of like Trump just did with Venezuela.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But I guess back to the Ukraine thing, like, why are the Russian soldiers agreeing to go fight there? And are there people that are defecting, or are the Russian people totally in favor of going into Ukraine?
No, they're being told to go. And the same with the Ukrainians. Like, I was talking to a buddy here that goes to our church. He's been here for the last 4 years. He can't go back home because there's vans driving around Ukraine. And as soon as they see an able-bodied man, you're getting like hijacked, like Maduro did, and you're going to the front lines. Like, you don't have a choice.
Which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'm just saying that in Russia as well. Like,
I guess one country's trying to defend itself, literally from getting annihilated by. Another, it's not a fair comparison in the sense of like, I'm wondering why are the Russian soldiers agreeing to this? And when you say, hey, separate the country from the people, or the government from the people.
Yeah, I mean, you also know, I think when you're inside of a country and you're fighting, the messaging that they're getting probably isn't the same messaging we're getting. I mean, it's just the same thing with the United States and all the wars they've been into. Like it's always done under this righteous umbrella, except for Trump seems to be lying the least about it and just says, "Hey, I want their oil." When it comes to Venezuela,
awful. Yeah,
but everyone else, it's.
What's the leader of Venezuela? The corrupt guy that got yanked?
Nicolas Maduro.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sleeping in his bed. All of a sudden, a bunch of guys run in and pick him up.
How would that happen? Would he not have had that much protection?
Well, I think they popped a few people coming in there.
Yeah. Have they talked about that publicly or not?
That they killed people? I think they talked about some firefights because some guys got injured.
Okay.
But they also said they built the exact replica of his compound, and so they probably like trained exactly what they'd be running into. And there's definitely probably some inside watching videos about how they're
paying some Venezuelans off.
That's right. Yeah.
To not be there to guard them, right?
Yeah.
These people are pretty corrupt.
Yeah. I'm wondering what the actual reasons for this are, because it seems like it's not just the drugs coming into the States. Like, I don't buy it.
Was that his bent? No.
Well, initially, yeah, that's like they were getting all these drug boats off the coast of Venezuela, and but I think there's got to be more reasons than that. Like, it just doesn't.
I read a very interesting article. It's in the National Post, and I forget the guy who wrote it. Maybe Aaron Spector. I forget. Anyways, you can find it pretty quickly. It's an opinion piece, and it talks a lot about how he went in, and will agree or disagree on whether that's even okay. A lot of people would say it's probably not that wise.
Yeah.
Then he said, the guy who wrote the article talked about all the other times that the U.S. has went into foreign countries and how it ended. And it never, ever ends well. There wasn't an example of like, hey, we went in, we cleaned up the mess, we set up a healthy government, Afghanistan, Vietnam, those are the first two, Iraq. Like, nobody's agreeing that Saddam Hussein was a horrible person and need to be executed. Like, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Just a horrible leader. This guy, too. This guy sounds like a horrible person.
But it's not. It's also at the cost of the Americans in this case, like taxpayer dollars, like lives. Like tons of young punks, guys died in these wars. It's not a small cost. You like to help these countries out. Like it's.
No, but I do feel like there's some sense of human nature that probably feels like people are looking for purpose. And even like a military, it's like, hey, this is our cause. This is what we're fighting for. Obviously, in Vietnam, it became to the point where it was toxic, and it was like, hey, they were just literally sending people to die there.
Yeah.
There again, way before our time, but read a few books and watched a few movies on it. But
it's also the guys that are going that are not making the decisions, right, about where they're going or not. There's a bunch of guys on top that are taking orders.
Yeah, anybody that's potentially going to get shot is not the one that actually made the decision. That is fair.
Yeah,
that's pretty typical in life, actually.
Exactly.
We're going to talk about all levels of.
In business too. It's always the people on the ground that are doing the dirty work.
Have to face the carnage. I mean. I'm heavily invested in oil and gas stocks, and so it was an interesting weekend reading about it, just waiting for see what the oil price would do.
Did it do anything?
Oh, it dropped, but I mean, not like 5-10%. Like the oil price actually hardly even dropped at all, but it was more the stocks that dropped, and probably we're due for a bit of a.
So you said something in a recent podcast that one thing that might be the saving grace of Canada is that the fact we have so many resources.
Yeah, well, we don't have as many resources as Venezuela.
Okay. No?
I think they have more heavy crude than we do.
Okay.
I think. I could be. They have a lot.
A lot of our north has never even been explored, has it?
No, that's a fair comment too. Yeah.
I'm just wondering what that would look like if we actually got like a proper government and there'd be.
We'll be very rich. We're very rich. We'll do fine. That's why I'm not even that worried about the debt we have, because if we actually had a government that would get away from red tape and had a bit of courage, and eventually people will struggle enough here that they'll wake up and they'll vote in governments that are. I think. I think so. I think people will get sick of the BS, but we'll have to go through some very hard times first. I think we'll have a revolution first.
Nice. You can be part of it?
Yeah. Like defending freedom, right?
You see, I seen you put a link in here for the Conservative Association Candidate Supply. That can be part of the revolution? That's a Conservative Electors Association. No. What is that?
No, that's why I'm not even sure I should have posted the link.
Okay.
This will for sure come back to haunt me, this conversation.
ConservativeAssociation.ca. If anybody wants to go check it out, what Gary's talking about.
You'll put it in the show notes. So I met with a guy that was thinking of running for city council in Chilliwack. I think he's going to, and he's going to run under this banner.
Okay.
And so basically, and he said the NDP's in BC has been doing it for years, but basically the idea of like, hey, we're going to create, how like even municipalities
have parties. Usually in the bigger cities.
Yeah, we don't here. Personally, I'm a huge fan of not having parties.
Me too.
Okay, you are too. So I actually pushed back pretty hard on the idea.
I mean, it's easier to get in to an elected office, I think, because you add
as a party.
Yeah, because you add trust to your what you stand behind, because people can associate it with something, because they don't know, no one knows who Gary Baars is, but they know Conservative. And then,
I like Conservative. I check the box. So that's exactly what it is. The reason I really struggle with it, first of all, I just appreciate the fact that at city council level in our community, it is nonpartisan. You couldn't necessarily look at Jeff Shields or Harv and say, hey, how do they vote?
Yeah.
And I think that's healthy. I think the biggest problem in our country is the divide and the idea of like, hey, let's find out how we think differently rather than what we agree on.
Yeah.
So this is just one more area where we're going to do it, where you're either going to be a conservative, city councilor and vote all together as the conservative things, or no, let's just allow people some freedom to have their own thought process on it.
It's easier to hide when you don't have a conservative banner behind your name either. Like what you actually believe about things, because it's not like right away a whole slew of people aren't going to vote for you now too, right? And if you're just
and so it's interesting you say that, because I have thought of running, because I ran in 2008 and I figured it's been almost 20 years, I could probably run again. And I was always just kind of wondering, hey, what do you take a stand on, and how
especially locally, because it's like the issues that you fight for are way different than the issues you would fight for at
a federal campaign level. Totally. I mean, obviously still some of the same bent and some of the same, it comes down to the same stuff, whether it be affordability or drug use, like drug use, national issue. It's, but yeah, definitely different. You're definitely tackling different areas of it, and you have no control over a lot of things that the federal government does. It's very interesting, even provincially in BC, we have a very left-leaning government right now, and they've enacted all kinds of general laws which are overarching over every municipality. So one of the things was zoning, like blanket zoning, disaster. Like total disaster. And everybody would agree with it. And municipalities are finally starting to come together, speaking up. Cities are saying, hey, like,
doesn't work.
Well, yeah, we don't want to have it where, in a beautiful neighborhood, picture like in Sardis, in our community, where you have these, nice single family homes on relatively large lots, but now somebody can buy a lot and just build a fourplex on it. Like,
It's terrible.
It's terrible. There's all of a sudden the parking ratio
Is that happening?
Yeah, it's happening. It hasn't happened a lot in our community. It would be beautiful if it could get changed. Like, I really disagree with that. And I'm all about densification. Like, I really am. I think, hey, let's build apartments, but let's build them in the same area, in the right area, near the downtown core, not just randomly all over the city have this ugly big box.
Exactly, yeah.
Fourplexes are ugly too. There again, like some people would say, it doesn't matter. We just need housing. But it's funny, as rents are dropping, see, now everything's happening too late, right? Now the rents are dropping just as these policies are starting to be implemented and things are being built. But yeah, the idea of a political party, his argument was, hey, for fundraising reasons, you would share funds. Like you say, you'd have kind of that, hey, this is what I feel like right away. You have people that are, first of all, doing vetting. So now you're going to have a vetting group. People that maybe should be in don't get in. I always look at it similar to like church office, where it's like, oh, it's a popularity contest. We're having a vote. That person, we didn't like their father, so now we're not voting for them.
Yeah.
I just look at city council level. It's like, hey, just let people, like you said, be their own voice.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you have a vetting team that may have a bit of an axe to grind with somebody or something like that and not let them in. And then on the flip side, just the idea of like, now you have to vote along party lines at a municipal level. Like, there's a lot of little things. Just, be your own person, take a stand. And I find at Chilliwack.
And would it be, if this guy would do that, when it, on the ballot box, would it say conservative behind his name?
That's why they want to do it. It will say it. That's exactly why. And it's interesting because, for instance, if you are a young person and you were running back when they were putting a slate in every community, that's the other reason I have a real issue with it. They're saying, oh, we're going to run a full slate in every community. There's lots of current counselors that are pretty solid that we don't need to punt out just because they're not willing to be under your conservative banner.
Yeah.
Right? And
I think it also, not doing it forces people to actually get educated on who they're voting for, rather than being lazy and just being like, oh, I just need to vote along party lines, and this guy's the guy I'm voting for.
Do your homework on the person. Look at their website. Most municipal elections, I have met with the people that are running, or try to, if I had the time, and just kind of ask them where they land on things and which way would you vote on this issue. You can ask.
I remember asking Wayne Massey when he was up against
running for mayor.
Against Sharon Gates. I met him at the mall, and I'm like, how are you better than Sharon Gates, and what would you do differently? And he actually didn't have an answer at all.
So he just felt like it was time for a change, or
he just kind of like, I can't remember what he said. I just remember thinking, walking away, I'm like, he doesn't really know exactly what. Maybe he just didn't want to be negative about Sharon, or I don't know. Because it is kind of gross, like in that world, the political world.
Oh, it's nasty. It's nasty. It's nasty. It's provincially in our province, I feel like it's the nastiest it's ever been.
Do you know how, if someone can get, like, you have this in the States a lot, where there's they pick who their candidate is through a little bit of a voting process as well. So you could have someone like an incumbent, like Mark Stroll, for example. He could get kicked out because there's a whole group of people that say, we want this to be our conservative MP, and then it goes to the election. Is that similar here in Canada? Like
I think our political parties have so much control that's highly unlikely.
Okay.
And that is where, if you really understood our system, and we learned about this in school, we had great social studies teachers, but in a lot of ways, even though the U.S. president has veto power, our prime minister and our political leaders have way more power because they control the party so tightly, right? And I think it's that idea of the mini, and Rustad kind of had that. So this guy also sent me a link from a quote from Rustad and Chief somebody or another.
Rustad again is? He
was the leader of the Conservative Party.
Okay, he stepped down now.
The axe, the swords came out behind us, took him out. They had a leadership review. He passed, and then within weeks or months, he was punted.
Yeah.
But they also had a fraction in their party to the extent where a couple people started a new party. Now that party has since imploded as well.
Okay.
1BC.
But I heard the person that started it got kicked out, but then they also put her back in again. What's her name? That made that movie.
Oh, Dallas Brody?
Yeah.
They kicked her out of 1BC, and then she somehow wrestled the control back. Yeah, that in itself could actually be a pretty interesting movie. And the people that are involved, like the players further down in the food chain in that conversation, like the people that were employees and stuff, they are on Twitter just skewering each other. It's childish. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for them, and I'm embarrassed
Today's
for the party.
Society. Why do you want to be? You'd run for council again? Why would you want to do that? You would actually.
Mostly just a bit of free time lately.
A disaster.
Being facetious.
Well, you did say the other day, I heard you say that you're spending way more time at home.
Yeah, I have been it's been really good.
It's good.
I feel like I've spent quite a bit. Never enough, but definitely a lot more.
That's because it's on the holidays, or it's an intentional move?
Both end. And if kids are all at home,
You need to be
The
there.
old man needs to be there sometimes, for sure.
I like how you edit sometimes at the end.
Sometimes, for sure. I just feel like, first of all, I think people should be involved in politics. And typically the people that want to be involved in politics, you don't want in politics.
Yes.
I mean, that's been my general sense. If somebody's super eager to be on a board, I would be a bit leery.
Yeah.
Just maybe not totally fair, but I just think, man, people that are eager to be in control and make decisions, like, do they really understand the weight that they're carrying? I think that municipal politics is manageable. Like, I feel like, hey, if I can be at a city council meeting, it's literally 10 minutes from my house. I know a lot of the councilors. I feel like even like on this basic things, and this is like one of my pet peeves, like the way they do road work now, like it's a municipal issue. They are making the roads too narrow. They are putting huge bike lanes in. Not opposed to bike lanes. Think we should have good bike lanes in our town. There's like, it is healthy, and I'm all about biking, but.
So you think as a councillor you would have more say in that than you would if you...
I probably could just deal with it right now, and I probably should just be calling city councillors and saying, hey, is there a reason that we make this road where, like, if you veer your tire 3 inches to the right when you're driving down Chilliwack River Road trying to get from Bailey Road to Promontory Road, you are bound to rub the curb. You cannot pull a boat trailer and stay in your own lane and not have your boat trailer hit the curb. Like, basic physics, engineering, like design flaws. Meanwhile, how many times do I pass a biking down that road? Almost never. Stop the madness, right? Yeah. So we have this whole agenda.
That's on the reserve too, right? Where you're talking about.
That piece is, but there's lots of pieces that aren't. And Night Road's not. And Prest Road, you can mark my words. Hope I'm wrong, but I doubt you'll be able to drive a dually tractor down Prest Road once they make the change. I mean, you barely can now, but it'll be, because they'll put nice curbs and all that, and they'll just make it way too narrow. Because they have some, bureaucratic number, that width that the road has to be, right? So just little practical things like that. Spending wise, I mean, I'm just a fiscally conservative, and I'll be like, hey, just dial her back. We don't stop spending. Yeah. Anyways, I probably won't get elected because it's too controversial.
I think you'll do fine. Question for the pod. What are you guys' thoughts on short-term mission trips? I'm thinking of a 2-week trip, helicoptering into a community, banging out some houses with our modern tools, the locals standing by watching, some photo shoots for the sponsors back home, one Bible study. I know it's generally a good experience for us first worlders to see poor communities make do with less than us. Do these kinds of trips generally have a good long-term impact on the locals? My first thought is, I don't have a super strong opinion on this, but don't call it a mission trip.
What would you call it? An attention-seeking trip?
Just call it an experience trip or whatever else like that. Like, it's way more for the people going, in my experience, having done these myself, than it is for the locals. Like,
totally is, but that's still a missions trip. It's just a mission. They just don't understand who it's a missions trip for.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's where I land. I think it's critical. Anybody comes to me and is going on a trip like that, even if they are going for the wrong reasons, I will help pay for their trip.
Because
I believe in it so strongly. Because I think it's so healthy for people to get out of North America and get to a third world country.
But I noticed that when I was in Africa.
Yeah, but don't think you're helping the people there. I mean, and maybe you are, but I mean, there's definitely a lot of challenges with short-term mission trips. I saw the question, I read it. There's some pretty interesting people. I'll tell you later. We get on the podcast that would talk about this. That would have a broad scope of kind of opinions and knowledge on why it's good and bad and things that you could do. Yeah. Because there's guys, I just saw a group went recently, a bunch of guys I know, and built 30 some houses, right? And you're building houses for people that don't have houses. There's a lot of money going. There's probably lots of positive things about that. Is there negative things? Maybe. I don't know. I look at it way more of, hey, if you're wealthy here, you have a house here, is it that bad to go down there and build? No, of course not.
No, it's not, no.
It's just, I don't think it is what people think it is. And I love missions groups that empower people in the community they're in.
That's right. I like that the best as well.
Pretty cool. And there are great organizations.
Or do like the microloans thing where they actually teach
World
people
Serve. If people are looking if you're business oriented and you want to join with somebody, and I've done that with World Serve. They have microloans that the money just stays in the system and keeps getting lent out, but it's basically you get a tax receipt for it. Yeah. And then they have people that start little businesses. They give you the whole write up. They have to kind of do a
it's a responsibility.
Plan.
Like,
it's pretty cool.
Handouts rarely work.
For anywhere. No.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's wrong, though, just to give money to feed and clothe the hungry. No. So, I mean, there again, people always find a reason to be cheap and not give to stuff. So you got to be a little careful giving people out. So.
But also, I challenge the people, like, why are you doing it, and have you actually, I think it's easy for a lot of people to do this kind of work because it makes them feel good. and it's good to give, but they've actually never shared the gospel with their siblings before, or their neighbor, or the people there, right? It's just like, it's really easy to give money and do these things, and you're like saying you're helping and stuff like that, but it's like, well, have you actually dealt with the actual root of the issue? Because if you're helping someone for 80 years or 20 years because they have a house, like, that's great, but I mean, as Christians specifically, like, let's help people for the next 8 billion years plus in dealing with their soul.
Didn't the person ask the question, weren't they saying it tongue in cheek? Like with the way they wrote it, I would assume that they're not a fan.
It seems like I didn't. I just said thanks for the question.
Yeah, good.
And moved on.
Took them at face value. Okay,
what it says: helicoptering into communities, some photo shoots, one Bible study.
Well, yeah.
It sounds like
one Bible study.
It sounds like
what
it
did it for me.
Yeah, a little bit of passive aggressiveness.
Yeah, it's all good. Great question, and it's an important topic. I think I feel like it's not happening. That probably is happening a lot, but I just feel like it's something that we could do way more.
Yeah.
I mean, our school does it. Our school has a missions trip with grade 9, I think, every year. And our church does it with youth. But
yeah. But you can also go like downtown Chilliwack and talk
a missions trip.
Go spend time there.
And you don't need to make an appointment.
No.
I'm telling you, you can just show up. I show up all the time. You can just show up at Ruth and Naomi's or any other place where they're pounding back the dope, and you can hang out with people that are in worse shape than you. In your life, you will be a lot happier about your own life too.
That's right.
It's definitely a mood boosting.
And I would encourage people, like, take these people out for dinner. Like, spend time talking to them.
McDonald's. Get them ice cold Coke and Sunday. That's what they want.
Yeah.
Cold ice.
And if you want to start conversations, just buy a couple packs of smokes and just hand out smokes, and people will talk to you. But people want to be heard and listened to, right? It doesn't matter who you talk to. People love talking about themselves to a certain degree and just sharing. A lot of these people,
for sure.
A lot of these people have no one to talk to, or just like, and you just talk to them for a couple hours and hear their story. I always find there's so much benefit yourself in that, and hearing someone's story, you're like, goodness me, I have it good. Like, everyone suffers. I know, even if you have fancy houses and nice cars, like, doesn't mean things can be super sideways, but it's just healthy to talk to those guys.
How was your New Year's?
It was awesome.
Yeah. You had a big party here.
Yeah, and quite a few people here. I think it was like over 30 people.
Okay, fun.
Which is
fireworks, you said?
Yeah. Everyone pulled together fireworks, so that was fun. Still struggle with the small talk.
Oh, even with an event in your own house, the people you invited over?
Yeah.
You just say to people, hey, you got to figure it out yourselves. I got the place, but you got to do the conversation.
That's what I tell myself, and I had to go stand by the fire by myself sometimes, stuff like that. I was just like...
Very interesting.
Yeah. Your house was fun too, day after, New Year's Day. There's a lot of people there.
Yeah. It was an open invite. I probably sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you finish.
Well, I should have probably just put an open invite because there's a couple of people I didn't invite, and then I felt bad. But
okay.
There's probably 150.
I felt there was more people last year.
Oh, there was 150 people almost this time.
Okay.
Marie said she cooked 200 oli bone, and there was 9 left over. So
wow,
it was a big.
It was good. A lot of good food. How was poker?
It turned into a total gong show.
But he lost $500.
Oh, it's a total disaster, man.
I just
got right carried away.
I'll beep his name out, but
delete that. We'll delete that. You will delete that. Not your place to say that publicly.
Yeah.
Anyways, it turned into a bit of a gong show. It was interesting though, because like we were playing cards with all these guys that normally drink and play cards, and it was a completely
because everyone was sober,
foreign experience to them to play stone cold sober.
Do they play differently?
They played differently, and they played with their own rules normally. Like they had a few made up rules, and like, you know, obviously I have a bit of experience in the gambling department, so I was like, no, that's not how you play Texas Hold'em. Like. So, no, it was interesting.
I was watching a video yesterday with Nicole on YouTube. It was a reel or something, and someone had on those little throw lever machines that you pull the lever down.
Like for slot machine?
Slot machine, yeah. Okay. It was like a slot machine watch. And Nicole's like, oh, we need to buy that for Gary.
I have zero desire to play slots.
Have you ever played slots?
Yeah, but
was it
only
did you ever
because
get into
I couldn't? No, only because I couldn't get a table.
What is it about slots that people like? I don't get it.
I know exactly what it is. It's about the idea that it's literally the same as somebody watching porn or somebody
just
scrolling reels ad nauseum. Nobody wants to put the reels in the same camp as playing the slot machine, but it's escaping from your current state in life, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
Pretty common.
Yeah, pretty common.
Okay, you put Matthew 5:21 in here.
Oh, I can't talk about it.
Why?
Did not prepare a sermon.
I'll read it. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things. I'll put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness.
Oh, yeah. I know why I put that in there. because I'm still reading through Money, Possessions, and Eternity.
Okay, cool.
More convicted by it than ever. Just slowly reading a little bit at a time. I hope to finish it while we're gone.
Okay. Actually reading, not listening.
Yeah,
I listened to that book. So.
Okay. I mean, I would get a lot less out of it if I listened to it, but I would be done it also. So, and I could probably just listen to it twice. And I listen to everything at 1.5 speed, which is what you can do with this podcast if you find it really boring and you need to end it sooner. But I found, we had a sermon on tithing, basically. I mean, because he did quote the book. And I just feel like it was just that Matthew 5 struck me as a quote, because often and even me, I've justified people not giving, where it's like, oh, you have nothing, you shouldn't give. But he really challenges that belief. Randy does.
So you think of this verse is specifically to do with money?
No, I don't. I think it's stewarding whatever you have.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating how many people just think, if I have a bit more, I will be generous. If I just have a bit more food, we'd have host parties. If I just do it and see what happens. That would be my encouragement. And I feel like in our life, and there again, it's just my own experience, so I don't know why, and I don't know, but, I won't say anymore. I won't talk about my own life, but I'll just say I think people just need to stretch themselves, and that's kind of the thought process, because I hang out with a lot of young guys that are just like, well, I just want more, and they got it completely backwards. Like, if the good Lord, to me, that verse is saying, if the Lord feels that you can handle, that you are going to give lavishly with much, you will start to give lavishly with a little. And there again, it's not prosperity gospel. I realize all the traps.
Well, you also don't know
I do feel like Randy goes a bit into that. He's not trying to, but he really connects the blessing of the Lord with giving. And I do think that as Christians, we may just really struggle, even if we're generous. I think it's very dangerous.
I don't think the blessing is necessarily, and I think Randy talks about this.
It's not financial.
It's not financial.
No,
people associate it with financial, but maybe you're going to be more gentle, and because of that, you're going to have way better relationships with your kids in 20 years from now, right? Like, what is a blessing?
Yeah, or in my life, it's that money has always, even though I may not like enjoy spending it or be pumped to go like buy something shiny and new, it would be way more just a level of comfort that it brings. And I see that with people even older than me, like a lot of like people that I hang out with a lot of farmers. A lot of the parents won't transition a farm because they just, man, what about if I run out one day, right? Or there's just such comfort in knowing that and that's not supposed to be our security blanket. Now, it's convoluted and it's complicated and it's nuanced, because obviously we need resources and God wants us to make money and invest well. And so it's going to look different for everybody. It was just more in my mind. I hang out with a lot of people in the early 20s that are like just striving to be loaded, right?
Yeah.
And like their dream is to be rich, right?
Disaster.
And I'm like, well, most people can't handle it.
Yeah.
So that's why most people aren't rich, because God probably looks at most Christians and just thinks, man, like you make $100,000 a year and like you're just cheap as ever. Like, why would I give you $2 million a year? Like, that's probably what he's thinking. And then it's like, I just think we can really.
But also in your pursuit of it, you usually destroy so many other things.
Yeah, and I've been convicted. Like if I read Proverbs and think of, man, where have I fallen short? And like it's super convicting. Like it's easy when you're in business, and especially if people trust you. It's like, man, the weight of responsibility of being beyond reproach. It's hard. Yeah. So I think.
It's interesting. I heard someone talk recently about some church stuff that they were trying to figure out, and they said, I don't need to push this stuff because it's not like a business where I can just push it through and make it happen. And they were more like needed to trust with God because it was a church-related thing. And I was like, I don't know if sure that's the case. Like if everything is God's and we're just the manager of everything that He's given us and that we're responsible for, then we should be approaching everything the same way. Like if it's something that needs to change at church, that you need whatever it is, or if it's you need to grow your business, like it's everything should be brought before the Lord and say, hey, what do you want me to do here?
Sorry, I'm not following exactly. What were they abdicate? What were they?
I can't use the example of what they said. So let me think of something. Let's say.
I just didn't totally understand what you were trying to say.
Yeah, let's say something needs to
change at church.
Change at church.
Oh, and they didn't feel they needed to push the change.
Exactly, but and they said if it's not like a business where you can just push it and make it happen.
Well, it's definitely different than a business.
It is, but it still gives the idea that like, hey, the business is mine and the church stuff is God's. It's like no, like
you're still responsible.
God is the CEO of your company. He's the owner. You're the manager. He might say that you're on paper, earthly standards, you're the manager, whatever, but like it's not ours. Nothing is ours.
And I think even as church members, and this would be how you do it is so important. You're definitely not called to go talk to all your friends about the things you're unhappy about within your church. But you definitely should be writing a letter to church leaders or having a meeting with them, somebody, and ideally face-to-face probably, and sharing your concerns, right? And most church leaders that I would know would listen humbly, even if they really disagreed or felt like church leaders are still fallible people and they will make mistakes, right? And God uses people in the congregation to speak truth.
I guess I'm saying don't be hyper spiritual about the church stuff, and then like
I see, and all
and the business stuff that they don't have to be spiritual at all about. That's just what you want to
do.
They're
both end. No, I would agree with you.
Okay, World Juniors, you watch that?
Yeah,
that was some fun hockey to watch.
It's I love it. Although I love it less than I used to.
Okay,
I probably follow I probably follow the social media too much, where people talk about how it's only the rich kids that get to play now, and so they have no character, right? You got to get some of the poor kids playing hockey that are real scrappers, right? And I mean, there's probably some truth to it.
Yeah,
because hockey is definitely very expensive, and people that are playing at that level have spent tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars on their kids' hockey.
You do need to learn to be pretty disciplined though outside of your hockey life as well, though. You can't be drinking all the time.
No, you're not partying. They're not getting away with that.
No,
that's fair.
But
the level of cockiness, even like from Team Canada lost, and they lost against Czechia, and I mean Czechia just outworked them. It was that simple. And the Team Canada admitted that after, but even in the game as they came back to tie it and they were strutting, I'm just like, boys, man.
Yeah.
Pride comes.
I just like the energy that those young kids bring. Like they are just going full pull, and it's just good hockey. I enjoyed watching it.
It was a disaster that it was in Minnesota, and it was a disaster how few people were watching it.
Yeah, the stands were almost empty.
It's embarrassing.
Why was it? It's in the States more often, no?
It is, but Minnesota's tough, and the U.S.
Really, that's like a hockey.
They call it the hockey state, but I mean, they don't care about that level of hockey.
Okay,
they do not. And it was obvious from the stands. And I think the tickets were pretty expensive. And it was in a college town, I think.
I was texting. I used to visit CZ in Czech. It's an hour south of Prague. And I know some guys there still, so I was texting them when Canada was playing the Czech. And I was like, who's going to win?
Care?
They didn't know about it. So, I mean, a lot of Canadians.
It's definitely bigger in Canada probably than anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I think the town that it was in, Minnesota in general, is not close to a lot of population in Canada. I mean, there's just not a lot of population in Canada, but it's closest to Manitoba. There's not a lot of people.
That's right.
Yeah, I think I checked. It was 8 hours.
Yeah, it's right about. It's almost north. Yeah, I guess Peter and Sharon from Desire and God. That's in Minneapolis.
Okay.
And they went to Winnipeg for their honeymoon. I was mocking for it. I'm glad you do that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Probably rather still married. If they could survive that honeymoon, they could survive anything.
Survive a lot.
Marriage is hard, by the way.
Really? We've never talked about that before.
Yeah, we won't talk about it today. I just met someone who's struggling in their marriage this morning, so it's fresh in my mind. My head hurts.
Like Marie?
I didn't talk to Marie. No, she's doing really well. She said I'm never allowed to talk about it publicly, that marriage is hard, because everyone assumes that she's difficult to live with, which is the exact opposite. But anyways,
that's funny.
It's just funny.
That's funny. Okay, I think that's it.
We got to wrap her up.
Wrap her up. Thanks for listening, guys.
Have a great week. Have a great week.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.